Here's to the dreamers, the seekers, the wise. Crystal lavender will reach in the skies. Through tarot and starlight will always roam. In the heart of the universe we found our home. Comes where the mystics play. We speak the language of the Milky Way. A touch of Venus, a kiss from the moon, guiding lost hearts with a sweet gentle tune.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome here, welcome back. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on, whatever time you are watching this video. This episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose, and I am your host, Crystal Lavender. So people know me as Nacho Mama, that was my old YouTube handle, and others know me as Criddle, like Riddle with a C, but I'm gonna go with my God-given name, which is Crystal Lavender. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to do the sign of Aquarius. And before we get started, we're going to talk about this. This is my book. It is called Say You Love, and it is a testimony of triumph over the darkness of childhood SA and addiction. All right. And I tell my story very honestly and vulnerably, and I don't leave out any of the embarrassing bits because I don't want anybody sitting in silence feeling like they are all alone. Like, this book goes all the way from the stuff that happened to me from when I was a child to running away from home and hitchhiking across the country and hopping illegal freight trains and being in active addiction, and then finally finding recovery. Okay. And you could get this book on Amazon for $12.12, or you could get a downloadable copy if you email me, and you could get a signed copy if you email me as well. I was sending people to my website, but I have ran into some technical issues with the download on my website. So in the meantime, you can email me and I will be happy to send that to you for free. Okay. So that is in the description box of every single one of my videos. I'll also post it in the comments once it's done. All right. So let's get this party started with Aquarius. Hi, Aquarius. Aquarius. Happy birthday, you guys. My beautiful Aquarians. We're going to start out with some general messages. I like to start out with these guys, these spiritual AF cards. Like, I think they're pretty entertaining, and they're pretty spot on for the most part as well. So the first one is manifest the F out of your dreams. The most vulnerable thing to admit is not your deepest wound. It's what you really truly want. We're talking your biggest, craziest dreams and desires. Be vulnerable, at least with yourself. Write it down, make a to-do list, and maybe even tell someone. Make it happen. You can do this. All right, so there's somebody that is out there that is dreaming big, dreaming super big, has got a really super, super amazing, out of left field type of dream that you might be a little bit shy to talk about. And I understand it, because sometimes talking about what our dreams or what it is that we're doing, it ends up like preventing us from actually reaching the progress that we need. But write it down is definitely a good one. Write it down and don't ever give up on your dreams, no matter how out of, like, even if they seem like they're extraordinary, like, who cares? And this says, grab your own butt, love yourself. Says, whatever type of butt you have, you're a complete psychopath if you don't see that butts of all kinds are super freaking awesome. Look around at all the butts of the world. Big butts, teeny butts, little butts, jiggly butts, orangutan butts, elephant butts. Grab your butt right now. Aren't you lucky to be the kind of animal that gets to have a butt? Yes, you are truly lucky. Even bats have butts, little bat butts. So there might be somebody out there that is absolutely like all about the booty. All right, all about that booty. They just want to grab your booty. They love watching you leave, and you are not your situation. All right, you are not your situation. Yeah, I like big butts too, Greg. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. I know that whole song. I remember that song from when I was little. It says, one of the keys to becoming spiritual AF is to define who you are by something deeper inside yourself and further outside yourself than the world can touch. You are someone, even if you're not your financial situation. You are not your financial situation. You are not your job. You are not your relationship or even your body. Find out who that person is, and you'll be un-F-withable. You'll probably have to do some soul searching. All right. Yeah. You are not the person in the mirror. Like you are so much deeper than that. You're not the person in the mirror. You are not your job. You are not your trauma. You are not your happiness even. You are something so much deeper and of such a different vibration than anything on this planet could ever even, like we can't even comprehend what it is that we really truly are. Like we are uncomprehendable, right? And if we're uncomprehendable, that means we're unfuckwithable for sure. All right, what sort of other general messages can we get for the Aquarius collective? Was it, I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. The girl walks in with the itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Got it going on. Somebody is sprung off y'all booty, okay? What other sort of general messages can we get for Aquarius? I feel like this one. I wonder what will happen next. Ready to adventure. It feels like you are on the breaking point. The breaking point. I don't know if you're just waiting for winter to end. It's like you can't wait for winter to end, and like you're just imagining all the little bees buzzing around. Hi, Perfect Dark. But you're definitely on. You're waiting for adventure. You're ready for adventure. You're either waiting for winter to end. I mean, you can still have adventures in winter. I mean, have you ever been sledding? I mean, if there's a place where it's snowy out, you could go on adventures even when it's snowy. Snow is kind of amazing because it's like it's so pretty. It's so pretty and it's so peaceful, but it's so freaking deadly all at the same time. And it says growing up. Ooh, I just felt something about a child, like watching your child. Maybe you're starting to panic because your child is getting getting bigger and growing up, and it's like you want to hold on for as long as you can. And if that's the case, make sure you go out on an adventure with them, because I mean, our children only spend this much as a child and the whole rest of it as an adult, okay? So make sure to spend some time with your child. I don't care how old they are, because once they're out of the house, it's like they're out of the house, and like you're gonna wish for all those days back. All the days where they were annoying and wanted you to play games with them, or to make their favorite meal, or it's like one day they just stop cuddling with you. Like one day that'll be the last time that they cuddle with you, and you won't even know it. You won't even know that that's the last day, right? One day they'll ask you to play a freaking board game, and that will be the last time they ever ask you to play that board game. So make sure that if you have a child, I don't care how old they are, especially if they're still living in the house with you, to do whatever you can to make as many core memories with them as you possibly can, okay? Because no matter how much time you spend with them, you're gonna want it back. You're gonna want them to be little again. This is growing up, waiting to grow and experience, rejection of perpetual youth. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like one of those, like I am a child, like I have a child inside me that's so like prominent, like I love laughing. I love doing frivolous things. I love, being in that childlike wonderment, like watching bubbles fall from the sky, and just being in awe. You could give a kid a freaking box, just like a kitty. You could give them a box and they're so self-entertaining and so easily amused, and like when we grow up, we lose our childlike sense. We lose our laughter. We lose a lot of like the joy of just being alive. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Soul. It's on Disney, and there is like this pre-birth place where all the little souls are getting together, and they're trying to figure out what their soul is going to be like on Earth. And then there's this one that's like super rebellious, and finally like she makes it onto Earth, and is like she's just collecting like a used a licked on lollipop and a leaf from the tree, and she finds all of these things like absolutely super amazing, that she puts them in her little trinket box. And I think a part of growing up is like we lose a lot of how beautiful this world really is. So there's somebody that is either trying to make you grow up, or you're trying to make somebody else grow up, you know but I think we grow up way too fast. I know I myself grew up way too fast. Like I was experiencing way too many adult type situations for being a child for sure. You know, most of us want to grow up. It's like we want to grow up when we're young, and then when we're older, we're like we just want to go back to being a child, you know. But I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million things that I could play with. And never jam today. Promises that never come to be. Empty words. Not living in the now. I really think that there's somebody is either super holding on to their baby, like, you know, not wanting their child to grow, which I don't blame you, you know, or they're like, you need to grow up and you need to get it, you know, you need to get it together. There's a big world out there, and they're like super harping on their children, or there's somebody that's super harping on you about not being an adult. You know, being an adult is overrated. It's all overrated. All right. Like, we're only a kid for this much, for this much. And most of us had to do so much adult stuff, even as a child, you know? So much adult stuff. We had to experience adult things. We had to witness adult things. We had to be involved in adult things. I don't know. There could be somebody that is pondering their childhood, you know, somebody that went through a whole lot, pondering their childhood. Something about childhood here is the major general message for the beginning. Hi, Mama Beans. Something about childhood, about how you weren't allowed to be a child. You weren't allowed to be a child, or you're catching yourself acting some sort of way about your child. I don't know. What else can we get? This deck is giving me an attitude. The Emperor in reverse. Yeah, I feel like somebody needs to. Why so serious? Why so serious? Like, make sure you put some time out for play. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, especially because we are faced with so much, like, there's so much adversity. And so it's so difficult just being human, man. Just being human. And it's like we got to pay bills and wash the dishes and do the laundry. And, you know, it's tax season, and we got a car to maintain, and we got to drive here, drive there. And it's like there's so much pressure on us on a daily basis that we forget how beautiful, like, it is just to be alive. We forget to celebrate the small things, you know. I think somebody is super stressed about being an adult right now. Hi, Jennifer, not Jenny. Not taking that leap. Somebody needs to go out and have some fun. Some frivolous, childlike fun, like to see the world again through like childlike eyes, man. I remember when I was little, I was so excited, you know, like I was so excited. I felt like I needed to help, like I was here to help, and I knew I was here to help, and like I was off to save the world, you know. Like I could still remember what it felt like to play outside, to be rummaging through the ditches in the wintertime, you know, like they would drain all the ditches, and me and my little brother would go wandering through the ditches, and we would look for bones, and we would pick up rocks, and, you know, like we were on this crazy adventure, even though like we were less than a mile away from our house. It's like we turned everything into an adventure. And I feel like somebody out here is really needing to tap into their childlike senses, because we got the Fool in reverse, which is the child card. That is the child card, right? And we got the Emperor in reverse, you know. And in the middle of that, we got the Three of Cups, which is like celebration, which is joy, which is, you know, finding joy in the little things. Like I feel like somebody out there is being bogged down, completely bogged down by being human, you know, by being an adult human. Probably had to grow up way too fast. Had to grow up way too fast. Yeah, finding that inner balance, that inner peace, that inner child. Have you ever hugged your inner child? Like literally, have you ever hugged yourself the way that you would hug someone else? I know it seems a little awkward, but man, I bet you give really, really good hugs. And I bet you've never even given one to yourself. just because it seems so silly, just because if you look in the mirror, it looks so ridiculous, hugging yourself like you would someone else. But you should really try it. I think your inner child really needs a hug. Your inner child really needs something inside. There's something inside that your inner child is really searching for, that is not getting fulfilled. It's just, why so serious? Always so serious. Always having to take care. It's like, no, all work, no play. Yeah, all work. All work, all work, 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 no play, no time for play. Give yourself a little bit more credit, all right? You aren't your job. You aren't you aren't your bills. You aren't the house you live in. You are not any of those things. You are so incomprehensible of like what you really are, what your soul really is. Like, us as humans, our human brain can barely comprehend the idea of what our soul truly is. And I think you need to give yourself a little bit more play. Go do something frivolous. Go start a snowball fight with some strangers, you know? Go do something completely what you might consider reckless, you know? Go play on the escalator, or go in the roundabout door one more extra time. Instead of just doing it once, go through it twice, you know? Cause yeah, there I feel like you're just so overburdened and overhumaned. All right? Like, your level of humaning is reaching a breaking point. And I feel like you need to tap into that wonderful, beautiful, childlike, I feel like the childlike empress, the childlike soul that you have. That child is still in there. The child that is full of wonderment and joy and was excited. Do you remember getting up in the morning and just being so excited to start the day? So excited that there was a bicycle outside that you could ride. So excited that the sun was up and you could go outside and play. Do you remember being excited about waking up when you were a child? Almost every day I was excited to wake up. Every day, super excited to wake up, especially on days I didn't have to go to school, you know, just out there adventuring. That child misses you. Hi, Pixie. That child inside of you is it misses you. It misses you. It loves you. And I feel like you are just so overburdened. And before you throw in the white towel and give up on something, you know, maybe put a little bit of extra play in there. Play with some Legos. Do something do something different than what you would normally do, something that you might even consider childish. All right? At least he has a voice. Like, I could hear his voice, which is awesome. He's back to being his Sir Meows a lot self, cuz he wasn't even meowing before. Yeah, I just feel like you're so dragged down. Like, you might be disappointed in what you've accomplished, or not feeling like you've accomplished enough. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of pressure. It could be pressure on you from your parents, or just pressure to be extraordinary. And it's like, we forget that being ordinary is actually really super extraordinary. Like, we beat ourselves up because we don't have the nicest car and the fanciest house, and we don't have this or this or this compared to the Joneses on the other side over there. Like, we are constantly comparing ourselves to other people and to other situations, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes over there. We don't know what they've got going on behind closed doors. All we see is the outside stuff. There could be somebody like completely, absolutely miserable behind that closed door. And it might seem like they're completely happy because they drive the nicest car and they've got this or they've got that, but we don't know how many times they're laying on the floor crying, like, or being in an abusive relationship, or whatever it is they got going on the outside. Like, the most happiest people I've ever seen have been monks, man. Are monks, and they have absolutely nothing, right? I've seen some Krishna, like Hare Krishna, like they sing all day long, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, over and over and over and over and over and over again. And they are the happiest freaking people I have ever met in my life. And they have nothing, nothing, you know? So don't compare yourself to what somebody else thinks you should have, or what TV has programmed you to believe that you should have, okay? Cuz none of that stuff, when it all comes down to it, when it all boils down to the end times, none of that stuff is going to matter to your actual soul. All right? None of it. Hi Autumn. Yeah, finding joy, finding finding a new way, a new love for life, a new sort of adventure, you know, a different kind of cup. It's like everybody else has this other cup, and it's like I feel like you feel like you have been defeated, or that you're not good enough. Like there's a huge sense of like just regret, or like feeling like a failure in some aspects. But those are lies. That's a lie. Okay, that is the worms in your brain. That is the TV, the media, the the programming that we've all grown up with. That's the programming lying to you about how you're not good enough because you don't have what this person over here has. Right? But I feel there's something around you. There might even be some sort of creativity, some sort of creative outlet that you have inside of you that you really, really, really want to do, or you really, really, really want to start it, but you think that other people aren't going to approve. So you haven't even started it. You haven't even attempted to get it out of the box, or to invest in it whatsoever, because you're afraid of what other people might say to you. So yeah, make that decision. Pull those pieces out of the box. Okay, I don't know if it's model airplanes or model cars, or um, something that somebody else thinks is childish. There's something that you really want to do that other people are like, oh, well, that's childish. Okay, who gives a fuck? All right, fuck them, fuck that. Let them go be a grumpy ass adult elsewhere. And let that inner child play, because they're like your inner child. I feel like your inner child is screaming for some sort of adventure, for some sort of just laughing at bubbles, or sky watching, or just something that is not so adult. It's like I feel like you're just stuck as being an adult. It's like you're supposed to be the adult. I've got to be the adult. I've got to be the grown up. I've got to, and it's like, but your inner child is screaming at you. All right, let's get some sort of love message. What do we have on the love front? Or there's somebody out there that's like trying to make their child grow up faster than they need to. All right, let your children be children, okay? Because they're only a child for this long, this much. That's it, that much. And then the whole rest of it, they're a freaking adult. And being an adult is rough, all right? Rough as fuck. Get some sort of love message. Single Aquariuses. What do we got for single Aquariuses? The devil. Overindulgence. The devil. Oh, don't be going to the bar and deciding, like, putting on them tequila flavored sunglasses, and deciding that somebody is the hottest person of the night. All right, I feel like somebody's out there partying, or out at the club with this temperance in reverse, and they might be hooking up with somebody, and then wake up in the morning to find out that they are absolutely, like, they were just wearing wearing some beer goggles, okay? Don't be going out there with your beer goggles and bringing random strangers home or nothing, all right? Cuz yeah, the devil, that's absolutely a sex-based connection. The temperance in reverse is overindulgence and alcoholism, addiction, self-fulfilling. All right, you aren't going to find what it is that you're looking for at the bottom of a bottle. All right, you aren't going to find who it is you're looking for at the bottom of that bottle either. I don't know who needs to hear that, but like they might be good what they want. All right, if this is a dude that you're picking up on, or they might be really good, and you might confuse really good sex with actual love, because a lot of times we do that, but that foosball is the devil. All right, you got Capricorn, you got Sagittarius, but I feel like somebody is out there trying. They're like on the prowl, on the hunt, on the prowl. Hi, Barbara. Yep, shit. The devil and the Seven of Swords. Be careful with this one. Be careful going out and partying, all right, and bringing some hottie home, okay? Because you're gonna wake up and you're gonna find out that your safe has been raided, or something's missing from your house, or you know what I mean. Like this is with the devil and the 5 of Swords. Uh-uh. Make sure that you are not wearing beer goggles. Those beer goggles will get you into trouble. Yeah, you'll wake up and be like, ew, what in the actual F? Ew, I called you an Uber. Oh my God, go home. The world in reverse, or the world in the upright. Yeah, if you already did this, okay, if you already went out with some beer goggles on and brought home a snuffleupagus. Nothing wrong with snuffleupagus, but or people that are snuffleupagus. Uh, let that be the end of it. All right, let that be the end of it. Count Dracula, snuffleupagus. Yeah, let that be the end of it. I don't think you're indecisive about it anyways. Like whoever it was that you recently hooked up with, or that you've been talking to or whatever, like you already know. Your intuition already knows. So don't try to cover over it. Don't try to smooth over it. All right, because you are right. All right, your intuition has already picked up that this person is no good. They're no good for you. You know what I mean? That they got ulterior motives. That they got a lot going on behind the scenes that you might not be aware of. All right, like this person is not somebody that you really particularly want in your life. All right, and I believe that your intuition has already been picking up on that. So make sure you stick to your word. You stick to yourself. Like don't let this person like try to talk you into something that you don't want to do, because that's the type of person that would do that. Right, they will guilt trip you into going out with them again. They'll guilt trip you into letting them come over. They'll guilt trip you into letting them stay the night. You know what I mean? Don't let them guilt trip you, especially if like that this is a familiar person. This is somebody that you already been with, you already know. They're going to definitely try to use that against you. Like this person is very manipulative. They're very manipulative. They're emotionally manipulative. They might be bringing up some sort of past, like, if y'all used to mess with each other back in the day or something. They'll use that to get back into your pants. They'll use that to get back into your home. All right, they're going to use something against you to get into your good graces. And you need to stick with your boundaries. Stay on top of your boundaries. All right, because this person is sneaky. They're very sneaky. They're very manipulative. And yeah, there ain't no love there. There ain't no love there. There's a lot of manipulation, a lot of emotional manipulation, a lot of substance abuse. Like maybe y'all only have a good time whenever you go to the bar, but then you wake up sober and y'all ain't got nothing to say to each other. Y'all can't get along unless you're drinking or something, all right? Your intuition already knows what's good. So don't be juggling with yourself. Don't let this person manipulate you into believing that you're the bad person because you're sticking up for yourself, okay? Just say no. Just say no. No means no. Barbara, I hope your little sister is doing okay. Your friend, your cousin, your sister. I hope that she is doing all right. That's super scary. All right, Aquariuses that are with somebody. Aquariuses that are with someone. Hi, Selena. I love Fire Tarot. If you haven't checked out Love Fire Tarot, please go give my friend Selena a follow and a holla. She's going live with Shara tomorrow or tonight. Yeah, that's what I was doing. She's doing it tonight. Shara and Selena are going to be live together tonight. And it's super exciting. I'll definitely be there. Aquariuses that are with someone. What do we got? Ugh. Trying to get over whatever was said, whatever was done. I mean, that's a lot of shame or guilt or heartache or regret, anxiety. Somebody's trying to get over something. Like somebody's trying to get over something somebody said or something somebody did. Maybe trying to go out and pretend like it didn't happen. You can't just sweep that shit under the rug though, all right? Make sure that you actually discuss it with this person at the time that it happens. Otherwise, it'll snowball and snowball and snowball. It'll get bigger and bigger and bigger until one day you blow up because, somebody freaking didn't wipe the crumbs off the counter or some shit, okay? So make sure that you talk about whatever the situation was, whatever it was that was bothering you. Don't be sweeping it under the rug. Communication is key, all right? Communication is key. And if you're going to bed mad at your partner, try not to go to bed mad at your partner, all right? Make sure that you all try to talk it out and not talk it out as like, oh, you're right and they're wrong. Like, talk it out like in order to actually try to heal the situation. It's not about being right, all right? When you're in a partnership, it's not about being right, okay? It's about working together, working to figure it out, working to fix whatever the issue is. It's not about, oh, you're right and you're wrong and pointing fingers. I feel like you are on trying to see things from the bigger perspective, or they're trying to see things from a bigger perspective. You might be going on some trip together. Yeah, going on some trip. Just as I say that, y'all might need to go on a trip together. Go get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Go do something that doesn't involve paying bills or getting groceries. You know what I mean? Like those aren't outings. Like go do something together that doesn't involve all the regular human existence stuff. Walking away. Have you already walked away in your mind? Like what's up with this? Man, a lot of times, like relationships will end in our head way before, like relationships will end in our head and in our heart way, way, way before we actually get to step in. So, have you already left this situation? Like, what's up with this? Are you giving it one last go around? You guys gonna go on one last date or something? You're trying to give it like one last shot, but I feel like your head and your heart is already gone. It feels like you've already given up on this situation. It's like, are you trying to go on one little vacation to see if you could put passion back into it, to see if you can reconcile this situation? Because it feels like some either you or this other person has already walked away. The Chariot card just making just it's like almost like the last kiss. Want to go on one last hoorah before you actually get to step in. Have one last romantic adventure to see if the passion comes back in. But one of you is already, like, in your mind and in your spirit, has already left this situation. My little brother's doing good. He's doing good. He's a little shook up and, you know, having to buy a new truck and do all that, but he's alive and he's good. So we can't complain. The devil. There might be some sort of addiction issues here. You might have just realized that you can't love somebody into acting right. People only act right if they want to act right, if they're compelled to act right, if they, you know, feel moved to act right. Like you can't love somebody into loving you. You can't shame somebody into loving you. You can't beat them into loving you. You can't shame them into loving you. You can't persuade them into acting the way that you need them to act. Like that will never ever 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 work. Never work. Especially if this person's got some sort of addiction issue. You cannot love the addiction out of an addict. They can only do it themselves. Whatever it is that you're waiting for, that you've been waiting around for, like it feels like you're finally throwing in that white towel. Like it's you're got like one last hoorah with this person, one last vacation, um, get together, one last attempt, but it's like your heart and your spirit have already like you it's like you've already mourned the loss of this relationship or this person. And those are some of the hardest things to have to mourn somebody while they're still in your presence, you know? It's like I don't know how many times I've said goodbye to some of my homies. I don't know how many times I've said goodbye to some of my relatives, to my friends, knowing that that could be the last time that I see them. Mourning the loss of somebody that is still around is really really fucking difficult, but it won't be the last. The world card in reverse, there's definitely like y'all have some sort of unfinished business, some sort of like y'all are absolutely part of each other's life plan, you know sometimes having tough love is the best thing that you could do for a person, because if you keep rescuing them and rescuing them and rescuing them, then they never learn how to rescue themselves. They never learn. They never learn unless you, like, sometimes you got to let them face plant, man. You got to quit giving them some training wheels because they need to learn to face plant. They got to either learn how to fall, so that they could tumble and get back up, or they just need to learn. They need to learn something about this situation. Like, it is essential for, like, you walking away or you leaving this situation is essential for both of y'all's growth. Even though there is unfinished business here, it's essential that this happens. This is absolutely part of the soul plan. Absolutely part of the soul plan. All right, guys. Well, I think that those are the messages that my Aquarius friends needed to hear today. So I am going to go ahead and get on out of here. Go ahead, get on, get. Hi, Michael. Yeah, he had a real close call. The $1 million highway ain't no joke, man. I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much for being here. And I will be back on for Pisces at 2 o'clock. All right. All right. I love you. Okay, vroom, vroom, beep, beep.